Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. So let's talk about Negan and I guess the Here's Negan episode that we will be getting. It's the true finale for season 10. It is the episode, or I guess the story rather, that we've been wanting for a very long time now. This backstory has been talked about for many years now. Really, I guess since the backstory was released, right? People have been wanting to know this character's backstory, and we've known it for quite a while, but we just wanted it to be told on the show. Now we are finally getting it. This episode will be airing, I believe it's on April 4th. Just count 6 weeks, or I guess 5 weeks from February 28th, because that's when the new season or these new 6 episodes are going to air. 5 Sundays from that Sunday, I guess, is when this episode is going to air. And I do want to talk about something here, something that no one's really talked about, and that is the possibility of this being Negan's final episode. I've brought it up in past videos a little bit. I haven't really made a video just focusing on this subject, but it is something that I do want to talk about because I do think there is a very high chance that this is Negan's final episode. And the main reason is because we only have one more season after this, right? So expect a lot of these characters to be finished now, right? You can have Negan's final episode, the final episode of this season, and still focus on Daryl and Carol and everyone else, the revelation of Rick Grimes and the Commonwealth arc and stuff. You can still focus on all of that. And the big reason why I'm bringing this up is because we are now at that point in the comics where this could actually happen here in the finale. Negan is actually not even a part of the Commonwealth arc. So this is the point now, especially because we're getting this backstory. We're at this point now where I do think this could potentially be the case. So before we go any further, I do have to warn you for spoilers for The Walking Dead main show, the television show. And I guess if you are new here, you want more content like this, more Walking Dead content, just make sure to be a subscriber. If you haven't left a like yet, please do so. That would be really awesome. And yeah, my Instagram is at MusicMan on Terrace Street. The link is down below. We're almost at 3,500 followers on there, so it'd be nice to actually hit that today. But yeah, let's talk about this Here's Negan backstory episode and what to expect from it. So we got this teaser trailer a couple weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago now. It's been a while anyways. And we saw Negan here with Lucille, his wife, played by Hilary Burton, which is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's real life wife. Everyone was super excited. Obviously, the green hair here, people are probably wondering what this is. The green hair is a wig because she has cancer in the comic and she's dying from it. It is a very tragic story. It really is such a tragic story. Negan, he does help her out, but he's kind of an asshole throughout the whole situation. He's kind of Negan, right? He does help her out, but he doesn't. It's kind of, he does his own thing, and I think a lot of his past failures and things like that, the way he's been acting, kind of comes up now because he's in this moment. He deals with it in his own way, and it's kind of too little, too late because Lucille just dies. He never got to be the person he wanted to be with her, this and that, and I think that's just a lot of guilt that he has in him to this day. Hence why he got the Bat Lucille, why all of that happened. He became so dependent on Lucille, right? It was just the one thing that it meant more to him. And I think that he wishes he showed way more love and was just there for her more. And I think that is something we're going to see here. Is we're going to, they could change it. Obviously, the show could change a lot of the backstory up because they usually do change stuff. They'll keep some of the main things, but they'll do it in their own way. This is going to be done in a different way anyways, because Maggie isn't hunting Negan down. If you remember back in season 9, episode 5, I believe, Maggie and Negan had that confrontation where Maggie went there to go and kill him and then decided, you know what, you're worse than dead right now anyways. The condition you are in, you're begging for death. I would rather see you suffer in here. And so now fast forward however many years later, I guess 6-7 years later, he is now out. Maggie's going to have issues with that, and I definitely think she's not going to be okay with him in Alexandria. We're not going to get that scene again. We're not going to get that confrontation like it happens in the comic where Maggie confronts Negan, and then at the end, Negan decides to just let go of Lucille. He burns the second Lucille, or the second version of Lucille that he has, and then he just decides, you know what, I let this go now. I finally let Lucille die in the past. I am ready to move on. And then he just kind of walks off basically into the sunset kind of thing, or walks off into the night. And that is the last we see of him in the comic. He is not a part of the Commonwealth arc. There is nothing there for him. So are we at that point right now on the show? And we definitely could be. This could be the final season cliffhanger. This could be something that we talk about all summer. Much like his introduction, he came in with a cliffhanger. he might leave with a cliffhanger, right? And this might be something that we're all going to be talking about for quite a while. Like, are we going to get a Negan spinoff series? Because I think that definitely is going to be in the works. I know Scott Gimple talked about the greatest villain of all time. They're working on a spinoff idea right now. Everyone's assuming it's the governor. What if it actually is Negan, right? Because you can easily do that. You can definitely introduce that in a couple of years. Everyone's going to watch that. He is such a popular character. Now, the way I see this happening, I've been talking about my ideas and been bringing up things, but the way I see this happening is we know based off of the synopsis that Carol and Negan are going to be together in this episode. I actually think because there's going to be some debate earlier on in those 6 episodes from Maggie and Daryl, Carol, everyone else about what to do with him. I actually think Maggie and Daryl are going to come to the decision of he just has to be exiled. I know people are expecting him to just be allowed in, but I think writing wise, it's not that simple. I definitely think they're gonna do it like that because it's just Maggie can never be okay with it. It's just never gonna happen. So I think they're going to exile him, but I think Carol is gonna help Negan find some other place, or you know what I mean? They are going to be out there. There's gonna be something that comes up with those 2 characters. And I actually think there's a chance, I don't really have any proof for this, but I do think there's a chance that Carol could be the one that reunites Lucille with Negan. Because remember, at this point in the comic, Negan does burn Lucille. It is a second version of Lucille, but he does do it, and it is kind of his way of like just letting go of Lucille. It's going to be the backstory episode, seeing Lucille, if he's reunited with the Bat, then it might bring up all this stuff where he opens up to Carol. So I kind of see this potentially being a possibility. Is Carol, she's had Lucille the entire time at the Kingdom. Maybe that's where they go in the episode. I don't know. But she finds Lucille, gives it to him, and he's just like, whoa. And then it brings up all of this stuff. He talks about, you know, Lucille, his wife. We get the entire backstory. We learn about a bunch of stuff. And then at the end, he lets go of Lucille. It's Lucille's reunion with the character, but he also lets go of the Bat. Because you kind of have to have the Bat in the episode. I do think we're going to see the Bat because it's the backstory, right? So we are going to get that. I don't know how much of the backstory we're going to get because there's the whole like rise of the saviors and stuff. I don't know if we're going to get that because there's just, it depends on what you want to do with that, right? Like I definitely think it's going to focus more on his wife, but it depends. It's going to be a pretty big episode diving into a lot of where does he go now? What does he do? And Carol's going to be there. So I think Carol, if she does have Lucille, like this is like the question of where is Lucille? Because Lucille was just left in the field there in the season 8 finale. Well, this is really the only episode where they could address that. It's kind of the last chance, I would say. If it's not addressed in this finale, then the Bat is just gone forever. We're just going to have to kind of get over it because it's just gone. It was left in that field. Maybe someone found it. It got taken somewhere, but it's just gone at that point, right? So we have one last chance here. We can see if Lucille's going to make a reappearance here in the finale. But I do think that, you know, Carol being there, the fact that Carol and Negan never had a scene before, right? I think it's going to say a lot. I definitely think she does have the Bat. There's a good chance anyways. I don't know how it would be done, but they can really write anything there unless there's something I'm not remembering with it, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. And so after this backstory, after he talks about Lucille and we get all of that, I think it's going to be a sense of closure for the character because again, we are at the end of the series. There's only one final season after this, right? Like after this show is done, the character is, they can do spinoffs and all that, but you kind of have to wrap up this part of the story in this show because he isn't really a part of the Commonwealth arc. I think there's actually a way where you can end the character's story here. Like, I definitely think there is a way where you could do that. And I think that might be one of the questions for the final season is like what happened to him. Non-comic book readers won't know what to really expect. We might get the same scene as we did in the final issue there, but like, and that'll be the final episode. If they do that big time jump, we might get that same scene, or it does hint that he's still alive kind of thing. And it's like 15, 20, 30 years later. But who knows, right? Like, who really knows at this point? I think there's a good chance, and I think that this is going to be something that is going to be really interesting to talk about over the next, I guess, 3 months or a little more than that, 3.5 months. Does Negan leave in this episode? I know a lot of people are going to bring up just the fact that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is very popular with fans. Negan is such a popular character. Why would you take him out of the show? That is just so dumb to do. But there's only one more season after this, right? It's not like they they want the highest of ratings. I mean, I'm sure, obviously any TV network wants that, but it's not like the show's going to go on for 15, 16, 17, 18 seasons, right? Where they want to keep these bigger characters around for a while. They're at the end, so they can make these big choices and decisions because they're probably thinking about the future and spin-offs and ideas that they can do there. So I think there's a chance. I definitely think there's a pretty high chance, actually, that this character, his final episode might be the Here's Negan episode. We might just see him walk off. He'll burn Lucille in like a shed or something like that, bury Lucille, whatever he's going to do, walk away, and then that's it. It might be one of the greatest episodes of The Walking Dead ever, and that is it. That's Negan's goodbye to the show, and then we'll see him in a series in the future, right? I definitely think it's possible. He's not wanted in Alexandria. He'll probably say his goodbye there and everything, and then that's that. That's Negan, right? Here's Negan. So I think it's a good possibility, and I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about all this. So post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.